Hello, welcome to another new video. Okay then people, let's get serious on this one. We are serious. Modification, Top Cat. Ooh, lots of modifications. I actually first saw this one on Mr. Richard's channel, RLrc on YouTube. Very, very informative channel. Check it out. I watched this Top Cat video where he modified the steering with a ball joint. I thought, oh, that's good. So I did some tinterneting and some researching, and I found Mr. James Edward Hodgson on the Facebook. Asked him, so, ooh, do you 3D print parts for a Top Cat? And he goes, yes. So I said, can you make me some radius arms, please? Can you make me some rockers as well? I thought, ooh, Mr. James is very good at making short rockers for the camber adjustment modification. And he is very good at making radius arms for the ball joint modification. And he also does the steering geometry arms, which you can see on the top left of the screen. So Mr. James Edward Hodgson made all these, and the idea was from Mr. Richard, RLrc. So I did lots of tinterneting to get all this information. So yeah, it took me a while to get this together. So now I'm attaching my radius arms to my track rod with the traditional method of loosening, tightening, and then attaching some Loctite. So once these are on and I've got my setting, yes, good enough, I'm going to move on to the next stage. So yeah, modifying Top Cat's very, very, you can do a lot. You can do an awful lot to a Top Cat. You can do this ball joint, steering ball joint mod, which is quite in depth actually. It is quite in depth. Then you could do the shock rockers, which adds camber to your steering. Oh yes, this isn't a modification, people. This is trying to fit E-clips to my original Wishbones. I did consider buying the narrow front end as another modification, but that would have been even more money. And I thought, I don't really want to spend another 45 to 50 pounds on a narrow front end when I've got these original ones, which I would say are very choice. I use that word because I had to do some cutting and some filing to get these to fit. But that is very standard. That's how they were. That is nothing new. These were made for modelers, remember? Modelers. But okay, right. You might class, I don't know if you class this as a pro tip or an idea or just being lazy. But after I did this, I thought to myself, why am I doing this? The original method was easy and it worked. And that was just getting a nice stainless steel 2mm bar. Why have the E-clips? Why do we need them? The original model just had a 2mm bar. I never had one ever drop out. Oh, look. I should have had some E-clips on that bar. That's dropped out. No, I never had that. So what you could do if you are feeling like, I don't know, and you think to yourself, I want to try this 2mm bar method. You take your model to your club and they go, ooh, what have you got here? Where's your E-clips? And they go, well, I've gone retro. I've just used the 2mm bar method. We could start a trend. Oh, anyway, people, I reckon a pair of really narrow pliers probably would have made it a lot easier. A lot easier. But I think because my wishbones are a tiny bit choice, I did spend a bit of time off camera cutting and filing these original wishbones. I didn't go, oh, I want original wishbones on my Top Cat. I just thought, I've got them, I'm going to use them. I was being frugal because I was spending money on other stuff, people. Oh dear. You got to love it, ain't you? The Top Cat is like the car that is like, you could do so many modifications. So many. I think, okay, I'm going to throw this out there. If they had put a camber adjustment on the original Top Cat, if you could have adjusted the camber on your front wheels, we would not have the Cougar. Okay, my opinion, my thought. That's what I think. I'm thinking, you got camber on this model on the steering, it behaves like a different beast, completely different. So I think, my opinion, my thought, if they had put a camber adjustment on the original model in '88, we would not have the Cougar. Just a thought bouncing around in my grey matter while I try not to think about these eclipses. So this is, I had to take the front end apart to do this because with the lower plate in the way, it's really difficult. I should have noticed that, and I forgot these. The new method is eclipse. I might even have some 2mm stainless bar as well. I might. I think if I'm feeling, no, I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to bother. I was just thinking I might just drop some in, but then I've got to take the eclipse out. Oh, no. So, crashbacks then, people. Okay, opinion on these. Do you keep your crashback system in place or do you lock it off? Because I've seen some people lock it off. I've seen Mr. Richard on his channel, RLrc. Mr. Richard, that's RLrc. I've noticed he has locked it off with a very, very nice modification. It looks like it could have been original. I think he used a carbon fiber brace off a works front brace that goes on the lower suspension plate. Yeah, Mr. Richard, very nice. But because I did this, I did actually do that modification quite a few decades ago. I used a front brace from a Club 10 because the Club 10 had a lower suspension brace and it was just made out of, it wasn't carbon fiber, it was glass reinforced plastic. It's just a black one. Yeah. Yes, and I think I'm going to use that again on this model. So yeah, oh sorry, we've got the video, haven't we? So yeah, fitting the crash backs in. So like I said, I don't know if people are going to not bother putting them in or just think, nah, or yeah, put them in. But I've locked mine off. Well, that's my plan, to lock them off. So they're not going to get used. They're just going to sit there. I suppose you could have them there for a bit of extra weight, but it's not going to be much. So anyway, people, let's get this bit done. Let's get these crashbacks on. I want this front end together so I can mock up the top plate and get that cut for the ball joint modification with the track rod in position. You see, this is why I'm putting this back together as a mocked up front end again, because what I need to do, quite important, I need to get the position of the ball joint. And okay, I'm going to let you into a secret. I made a slight mistake. What you should do, people, is you need the ball joint and the socket. Okay, so I fit your socket to your ball joint. I forgot to do that. So I ended up having to do a little bit more trimming off camera. So that is my mistake. So don't repeat that mistake. Put your socket on. It doesn't need the rod, just the socket, not your steering rod, because it get in the way, just your socket. And another, oh wow, I'm making so many. It's not really a mistake, it's more of a waste of time. I don't really need to put this in the lower plate. All I had to do was push the rods into the top plate, which would have saved a lot of time. I just overthought it. You don't want to overthink stuff, people. Don't overthink it. But if you want to mock up your front end like I'm doing, then I suppose you're not going to make any mistakes, are you? Everything's in place. So this is to get the position of your ball joint, because you have to take quite a bit out of the top plate. I mean, if you've got a brass one, I won't bother cutting that, just buy a replacement. You can still get them. You can get all the Top Cat parts, not a problem. Only $6.99. U7554 for a top plate, if you're going to swap it out, or even a spare, or if you do it wrong. Actually, to be fair, you can't do it that wrong. All you got to do is cut a massive groove. And I bet there's a lot of people thinking they want to build a Works Top Cat. Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? Technically, people, the holes or the lower plate are in the Works chassis. So this Top Cat lower plate will screw straight on. I don't know if it was oversight when they made the Works chassis, but that center hole is there. Yeah, so if you're thinking about making a Works Top Cat, which would be awesome, because you're talking modifications galore, but very expensive. Oh dear, yes, very expensive. And all you'd have to do is drill 2 holes. That's it. If you want to make a Top Cat Works, you'd have to drill 2 holes in the Works chassis. And those 2 holes are only for the suspension, only. The lower plate will fit on. Don't need to drill that extra hole. Yeah, oh, sorry, video. So here we are cutting and grinding. I'm using my big butcher tool because I couldn't be bothered to go and find my Dremel, and my big butcher tool was to hand. Yeah, my lazy bone took over. I just thought, oh, I'll use that. You can use a Dremel, a bit more precise. But when you need to cut meat, you just use your butcher tool. Yeah, I say these are quite cheap to replace if you make any mistakes. $6.99 for a top plate. In this video, we're just going to cover this ball joint modification. So once this is all cut, and like I say, I made a mistake. I had to trim some more off camera, which is disappointing. I wanted to do this all properly. but I forgot to put on the ball socket, and it does protrude. It protrudes forwards, so I needed to cut out about another 3 or 4 mil, and then just add another mil on. So 3 or 4, maybe 5 mil more because of the ball joint. So that's it then, people, on this one. That's all cut out. That's done. That's dusted. That's ready to go to the next stage. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe and like if you want to. And I'll join you on the next part, people. And laters.